I suppose I should have been greatly disappointed that I had missed, but the disappointment I did experience was not long endured, and as the days passed by, my interest in flying saucers never waned. About 4 months later, and on the 9th of March, 1954, a strange incident occurred. I was on my way to San Bernardino, California, driving a Ford pickup. I was thinking I would visit a friend of mine in Redlands on my way home, when the word Pluto popped into my mind and was repeated 3 times. The words that followed were not too distinct at first, evidently due to my inexperience with and lack of understanding of the use of mental communication. However, at that time I did not realize what was actually happening. I only knew that it recalled to me that miracle early 1953 when a voice had solaced me. It is said by our earth people that there are such beings we call guardian angels. There are various opinions as to what or whom a guardian angel may be. How unbelievable it may seem that they are no different from the most humble soul that walks the earth, other than being richly imbued with a consciousness of cosmic laws, and of pleasing the Creator or Supreme Intelligence and carrying out His will. The sensation of high vibration, and vibration is the controlling factor in every object or thing throughout the entire universe, and the universe is ruled and regulated through vibration. The law of vibration is regulated by rhythm that accompanied this experience, and left me no little perturbed, lasting the greater part of the day. On my way home I was in doubt whether or not to relate this incident to my wife, not being certain what she might think. But I was glad that I told her, for she was of the opinion that it was not anything to be alarmed about, but rather a happy occasion, for she believed I had had a contact, and that it would probably be wise to talk to Mr. Adamski about it. A few contacts, and 5 days later I went to Mr. Adamski for advice. He assured me I had been contacted, but absolutely not by any spirit. Some so-called spirits manifested by mediums are nothing else than the elemental entities of a vibration consolidated into manifestation through the medium of ectoplasma, who assume the voice or the form of a loved one to deceive the seeker into laying himself open to obsession or possession. Their sole purpose in deceiving is to gain confidence so that they can open the seeker to their entry. In mediumistic practices there is a great danger of soul bondage, that the sensation that accompanied the contact was due to the high frequency of the spaceman's thoughts. Thus began a series of contacts by telepathic impression or thought transference. I was informed that I was receptive, and indeed I was given ample practice, being assured that everything would be clear to me in time. These people, our brothers, feel their every thought, and so poignant is that feeling that you are impregnated with it too. Their messages are always closed with blessings and love, and it is impossible to convey by the written word the impressiveness expressed by them. Then the day finally came when I had presumably progressed in receptivity to the degree that I was ready to be contacted clairaudiently, or by the inner voice, which was distinctly audible as though someone were present and conversing with me. Yet, at the same time, it was as if it originated in the brain or the inner ear. Anyone sitting next to me would not necessarily be aware whatever of such communication, for when a higher dimension is realized by the awakened mind, as is the case with our brothers of other planets, thoughts and words can be sent around the world at a rate of speed that transcends what we consider the speed of light, and they are heard by those for whom they are intended. Although it has been proven by scientific tests that such power as mental communication exists, it is not only one of the strangest phenomena in the world, but we are not able to define the law under which it manifests. Yet such communication is a common thing with people of other planets who have developed thus far by attuning the inner man to the cosmic and becoming channels for the magnetic force of the universe. When we speak of telepathic communication, we must recognize that man has two separate and distinct minds, the objective and the subjective. All communications must take place between the subjective minds, whatever part may or may not be taken by objective minds. The whole human body is a magnet inasmuch as it has two polarities, and every person possesses magnetism in either latent or active state. The magnetic force of each person vibrates in a certain octave or vibration, and it is upon this magnetic force that telepathic thought is conveyed when directed by the will to the person you are directing it to. Thought is of high electrical content, and the sender and receiver must be attuned to the same mental vibratory wavelength, for harmony and attunement of minds is the first requisite for mental communication from one brain to another. The human will is the director of the magnetic current. The magnetic current is the carrier of thought and is capable of almost unlimited expansion when properly directed by the will. Communication may take place between persons in the same room or thousands of miles apart, and at any time. In a greater or lesser degree, magnetism, a vital force of a fine electrical nature, radiates from every human body, and since each individual has his own particular rate of vibration, he can be attuned to accordingly, much as you turn the dial of your radio to the frequency or wavelength of the desired station. For two minds in attunement are sending and receiving stations. I was not capable of attuning my mind to that of the spaceman, but for him, having that understanding of the more subtle energies and the ability to use them, it was a simple thing to attune his mind to mine, that he might commune with me. Here I wish to point out that when continual contact is necessary with a mind of a much lower vibratory wave length than his own, a spaceman can use a sending and receiving instrument, which acts as an intermediary, raising or lowering the vibrational rate of the thought waves of the sender or receiver to the same unified frequency, making it possible for the two minds to communicate. That is, the instrument intercepts the mental message sent out from a mind of a low vibrational scale, multiplying the frequency into the high octave of vibration needed to reach the spaceman's mind, thus conveying the message to him. Also, the process is reversed, the instrument acting as a step-down frequency transformer, converting the high vibration to the lower rate required for attunement. This particular instrument is used to eliminate any detrimental effects that a continual lowering of one's state of consciousness could cause. Conceding a low vibration to be non-constructive, we should strive to cast our thoughts ever upward into the higher rates of vibration, into freedom of light, love, and life. Then, too, by thus raising the state of our consciousness, we can meet our brothers of other worlds on a level and harmonize with them. These guardians of space, our brothers, are continually doing all they can in many ways to benefit mankind, although they could do much more if this were not a quarantined world. I.e., this mediator type instrument is not only employed for individual contacts, but to send thought impressions to untold numbers of people. Many are unknowingly benefited in this manner, the instrument being adjusted to transmit within a given area positive and harmonious thoughts relayed in a specific octave of vibration. Anyone within that given area whose vibratory wavelength is somewhere within that certain range of vibration will receive some of these impressions. If one's frequency should be synchronized to the entire octave in which the thoughts are transmitted, he would receive all of the contributory impressions. It is possible to use this equipment for mind impingement, that is, to direct thought impressions to an individual not capable of normal reception, compelling him to speak aloud the impressions sent to him. But this is never done for negative purposes, but always for the highest good. Yet, suppose that rulers of a nation on this earth, ruling supreme over all other nations, came into possession of similar machines and used them with evil intent.